Welcome to the Rewards Master Live. This is our 11th, I believe that's right, live session that I've had here on the channel. And so far they've gone good. Last week, I think I had my highest record ever of 72 people logged in. So maybe today we'll even beat that. We'll see. Let me see how many are in here so far. Looks like we got 4 signing on in the very beginning. So that's kind of how it was last week. So we can grow from there. If you're here with us, it helps me a lot if you put something in the comments like I'm here or good to be here or whatever it may be, just so I can recognize that you're a part of our live today. Okay, so as is always the case, I try to limit these to less than an hour, between 45 minutes and an hour. Try to do them here on Sunday afternoons. This is a convenient time for me, and it seems to work for a lot of folks who tune in as well. So let's see. Stratton R. Hello. Hey, Stratton. Good to have you with us today. Great to have you as a part of our live. Ander Nature. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday to you. Where I am, it's a beautiful sunny afternoon. So I'm here in the cool air conditioning. So sorry, I got a little bit of a cough today. TJ Rosenbaum says, hey, TJ, good to have you here as a part of it. Let's see, we got 7 in there now. So any of the rest of you, don't forget to put some little hey or something so I can recognize that you're here. Now, as is my typical pattern, I have several topics that I try to get to. And this was my intention, when I started these lives, or at least maybe by the second or third one, I started to try to follow this same pattern in every one of them. But what I found out is that in that time constraint of 45 minutes to an hour, I very seldom get through all of them. So starting today, I'm going to have several of these elements, but I may skip through a few of them so we can get to some stuff that we haven't gotten to the last couple times. But how it breaks down is we've got new developments. So these are kind of new things in the credit cards, points and miles world that have come up recently. We've got restaurant rewards. I'm one of the only ones who seems to focus on this, but it does not make any sense to me why nobody talks about restaurant rewards when they may be the highest rewards category and give great opportunity to double and triple dip. And so nobody talks about it. The fact that you can go to Steak and Shake and get incredible 10% on top of your credit cards, on top of other things as well. Nobody ever talks about that. So I thought, well, I could be the one guy who does. So I always include some little thing about restaurants or other ways to double or triple dip. Then the centerpiece is kind of the main event of the day, the thing I want to talk about the most. Upcoming travel, I'll sometimes include some things. We travel, we don't just talk about credit card points and miles. I travel at least 15 to 20 trips a year, sometimes for work, sometimes for personal. And we go on vacations, including 2 to 3 international destinations every year and some little crazy trips here and there. So try to talk about some of that. In other words, walk the walk, not just talk the talk. And then reward deal of the day. That's, kind of what I think is kind of a cool thing people might not know about, a great deal. And then status stuff. I also care a lot about status with airlines and with hotels. So I just kind of include a little section on that. Let me go, before we dive into the first new development, let me go back and see who's in here with us. Ian M says, hello from Massachusetts. Well, I hope it's pretty there in Massachusetts. That I had a child who went to school there, and we love to go up there and visit in Boston area. It was nice. Midlife Thriving Official. What a cool name. Says, first time here live. Well, great to have you, Midlife Thriving. I don't know which one to call you, so I'm just going to call you Midlife. So I'll call you that. Not midwife, midlife. All right. DEM gives me a wave. Wave back to you, buddy. Appreciate it. Good to have you here. And JC says hello. Great to have everybody in the chat. JC asks a question. What are your thoughts on the Strata Elites 1.5 versus the Double Cash 2X? I have both the Elite and Premier, and we'll be having an interesting decision next year. Hey, that is a great question. And it's like you're reading my mind, because that's part of my main event, that's centerpiece for today. So JC, if you'll hang on just for a few minutes, let's hold on to that question, because I'm going to get to it. It's actually a big part of what I want to talk about. Midlife says, That is what most others call me. All right. Okay. So I got it right there. That's good. That's good. Okay. So to dive in, new developments, the U.S. Bank Altitude Reserve. Now, I wanted to include this because if you haven't noticed, in this last week, there's been a lot of talk. It seems like it's just been ba-boom, ba-boom, ba-boom in the credit card points and miles world because huge news happening again and again and again. First, we had the Venture X changing everything. Then we had the Sapphire Reserve and completely revamping everything. And then, of course, Citi came out and shocked the world with their stuff. And we're going to talk about some of that some more because that's kind of, I've always been a Citi guy and an American guy. So that it matters more to me than anybody. But then US Bank this week came out with what one card that has long been lauded, at least by the cashback people, as one of the best cards there is, which is the US Bank Altitude Reserve. And remember, that was their, what is it, $400 card? I think it was $400 a year. You get a $325 easy travel credit or dining credit back. And people love that card. And they really loved it for two reasons. And those two reasons people loved it is it had 1.5 rewards and you could pay yourself back. So you could go and you could, buy things and then pay yourself back at 1.5% back. And it had a mobile wallet category where if you put it into your Apple Pay or Google Pay or whatever, Samsung Pay, whatever it is, and you paid with your phone, which for some people, you could pay for almost everything with your phone. So it was almost like an across the board 3X category. And so those things made this card for some people. My friend and fellow creator Dugras, he loves this card. In fact, in his live yesterday, which I didn't catch live, but I was able to watch some afterwards, he talked about this a lot because he was a big user of this because his travel philosophy is he tries to make everything net free. So he's trying to travel, pay for everything from his parking to his tolls to his meals, everything on points and miles. And this card, along with this airplane card, are awesome for that because this card fits into that very well. Now, for me, I'm just including this section kind of as a lament and to a point of solidarity with my fellow points and miles guys who love this card, because this card never interested me. I never got it. I never applied. First of all, US Bank's hard to get approved for stuff, so I didn't even want to risk it because this card gives cash back. And I don't get really excited about 1.5 cents or 1.5 as a reward rate. I didn't have the reserve either for that reason, because I don't like to do redemptions that low. I try to do big time redemptions. So I like business and I don't mind paying for cheaper things out of my own personal money and budget. So a $300 flight, if I'm only going to get 1.1 cents value, I'll just pay the $300. I'll save my points for something else. So this card never worked for me, but it was a superstar for people who had a different travel style and played this game in a little different way. It was a superstar. And so what have they done? Well, they've announced no more 1.5 rewards. It's just going to basically be 1 cent per point. And a cap on the mobile wallet. Now, it's still a pretty high cap. I think it's $5,000 a month maybe, or per billing cycle or something. But to kind of offset that, they said transfer partners are coming. Well, let me say this. Now the card really doesn't interest me because now it's just a cashback card. I mean, I have a few technically cashback cards, but really the only one that I use for cashback is the Amazon card for the 5X. And I don't even get excited about that because it's just cashback. So that in my travel style, that I don't need more cash. I mean, that's just not what is interesting me. What's interesting me is business and first class flights. So, and great hotel redemption. So I'm not going to be interested in this card now that they've done that. And I think it still has made it, even for people who do want the cash back, not a competitive earner, certainly not the superstar it was lauded at that people really love. And that cap on 3X on mobile wallet, well, it's a pretty high cap, so I don't know how much that means. But this transfer partner thing, I mean, what kind of good transfer partners are they going to be able to get? Some people have said, well, they could do Korean Air. I don't know anything about Korean Air. It may be great, but maybe they could, because I think US Bank issues their credit card. But who are they going to get? I mean, Virgin Atlantic, almost surely. right? Everybody has Virgin. Virgin Atlantic, I mean, she'll go on a date with anybody. I mean, that's just who she is. She partners with everybody. Air France, same way. British Airways, same way. Probably going to get all those, but it's going to be maybe like Wells Fargo, have a few of them here and there. I think US Bank just shot themselves in the foot and went from being a contender for the best premium credit card, depending on your travel style, not for me, but for some people, to what's the big deal? Oh, by the way, I think that even that credit that they give, I think now you got to do it through their portal, and it's limited on what you can use it for. So if anybody has information on that, put it down in the comments. All right, let's go back to comments for a second. Yurishbu, hey all. Hey, good to have you back, man. You've been here before. Good to see you back on the channel. Cesar, Joel, hit that like and subscribe to the channel. Excellent. Thank you, Cesar. I appreciate that very much. And that does help. The algorithm is greatly increased when people hit the like and subscribe button, bell notifications. If anybody chooses to do any kind of super chat or super sticker, even 49 cents or $1 or anything like that, that helps to get more people too. I don't know why YouTube likes to push that out. So all those things help, and I do appreciate it very, very much. Thank you all for being here. Okay, Rex Blein, B-L-E-I-N. Rex says, forcing you to use the portal, which is overpriced rather than direct, is the real killer for me. US Bank seems to be dumb as a post. Yeah, it seems that way. It's like, I mean, they did that Smartly card, and it was amazing, right? $100,000, and you can have it in self-directed investing. You get 4% back on everything, and it was too good to be true, and it was too good to be true. It didn't last but a few months, and it's like anybody could have told them. I mean, the U.S. Bank could have hired me as a consultant to come to New York and to walk in that room and say, "Is this going to work? This 4% back?" I'm like, "No, people are going to game that, and you're going to lose your shirt," and they did. And so now they're following suit. It seems like they're reeling back so much stuff to try to make up for that. They may be reeling back the one card they had that was a real winner. I mean, seems that way. But yeah, this travel portal thing, it's starting to get out of hand. And you're right, they are more expensive much of the time. They did no cross promotion with large vendors to sweeten the Smartly 4% deal. Absolutely. I mean, it was I love the way you said it. Dumb as a post. That's a great way of expressing it. All right. Chad's Money Minutes. Yo, hey, Chad. Good to have you here, man. Been enjoying your videos. Great to have you. I was so honored to be included in your new class of 25. That was a big deal to me. In fact, I sent it to my family and friends and like, look, I got an award on YouTube. And they thought I meant I got the little plaque, but I think your award might have even been better. So I appreciate it. That was great. All right, let's move on to the restaurant reward section. And I've talked about this about 4 or 5 lives ago, but I had to bring it up again because I've been using it so much. So where I work, I mean, I guess it's a character flaw. I don't know, but I like Taco Bell. I just do. Now, I like nice restaurants too, but I like Taco Bell. So I eat at Taco Bell more than I probably should. And this is crazy because this Upside app, there's a Taco Bell like a block from where I work. And this Taco Bell is on this Upside app. And I've told you about the Upside app. It's an app you download, and it's a cashback app. And I'm not a cashback guy, but I'll take the cashback on top of my points and on top of my Taco Bell rewards. And that's what this ends up being. It's a triple dip opportunity. So you get your Taco Bell rewards, which is so-so, and you get your credit card rewards, which for me are always my Citi Prestige 5% or 5 points back. And then on the Upside app, you just put your card into the app so it knows your card. And when you pay, it just automatically detects it. You do have to check in before you go. It takes 1 second. You open up the app. It says, "Oh, it looks like you're at Taco Bell. Are you going to be eating here?" And you click yes. And it says, "Thank you. When you pay, we will credit your account." And the numbers have been nuts. So this last time, look at this. The last time I went to Taco Bell last week, I got $4.36 into the app. And you say, well, how much did you spend? Like 20? because it was me and somebody else. So that was like 25%, close to it. The time before, I think I spent about 30 and I got $7. And that's in addition to the Taco Bell points that you get, their own reward system. And in addition to the 5 points per dollar I got with my Citi Prestige card. $4.36, $7.02. I went to Marco's Pizza, another place on it, $7.37. I mean, and you say, though, that wouldn't be impressive at all if I'd spent $700, but I didn't. I mean, Marco's Pizza, I think that bill was maybe $30, and I got $7 back in addition to my credit card points. Tell me that's not amazing. So if you don't have the Upside app, I probably should have a referral link on here. I don't. So it doesn't matter. If it helps you, that's all that matters. So check out the Upside app. And it's got gasoline on there. I get a lot back from gasoline, 2 to 30 cents per gallon that you get back at gasoline. And you got to pick places that are on it, but it's really pretty cool. Has anybody used it before? Put comments down below. But you might want to check out the Upside app because, man, for double and triple dipping opportunities, it may be the best of the best. All right, looks like we got 30 folks in here, which is awesome. Let me see some of the comments. Let's see if anybody's added anything else here. Chad, Money Minutes, my pleasure, and it was well-deserved. Well, he's talking back to his class of 25 video and how much I appreciated being included. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate it very much. Cesar says hello to Chad. Chad says, yeah, I did a video on Upside years ago. I'm a long-time user. I mean, what's the best rate you've seen, Chad? I mean, sometimes that Taco Bell, like 19%, gasoline, 30 cents per gallon. I mean, it's crazy. It's really, really a great app. So it's really a great app. Okay, so we've got 31 in here. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. Appreciate that very, very much. All right, so moving on to the centerpiece. And I think this was asked a little bit earlier up in the comments. Yeah, JC asked about the 1.5 when it comes to the new Strata Elite card. And that's what I definitely wanted to talk about here. So when we talk about the Strata Elite card, I'm going to discuss this because the Strata Elite just came out, and it came out in conjunction with one of the most exciting things, at least temporarily, unless it gets nerfed or they basically do a devaluation. But if it stays like it is, my world just, and I feel bad for the people that are dealing with the US Bank problem if that was their primary card. But I use the Citi Prestige and I fly American. So my world just improved on 3 fronts because got a new card with Citi that has some interesting earning categories. Number 2, in addition to that, I found out that American Airlines is a transfer partner at a 1-to-1 ratio. And number 3, I get to keep my Citi Prestige card, which is the best earning card I've ever had. I mean, it is amazing in that way. So when it comes to that, it's just been a great couple of weeks for me. So I do certainly sympathize with the people who, like US Bank people, who are going through that. But man, it's been a win for me. But one of the things that's really been interesting to me in the community is I've watched video after video and live after live about Citi's rollout of the Strata Elite. And the vast majority of commentators and folks making YouTube videos and people, even some of the ones that are just like the goats in the game, people like Frequent Miler and some of them, their view of the Strata Elite in comparison to the other cards that are on the market, like for instance, the Platinum card and the Reserve card and stuff like that, are just absolutely, it's weird to me because I guess my mind works different or my math works different because I just don't see it in the negative light that they do. In other words, most of the most of the perspectives I've seen have been very meh about it, or like, wow, Citi swung and they missed on this thing. And honestly, it's possible I just don't see it right, but I just don't see it that way. I'm kind of pleased with it. I didn't want to have to change from the Prestige, and I'm super excited I get to keep the Prestige. But honestly, if they'd have made me product change to the way the card is now, especially with American as a transfer partner, I wouldn't have wanted to, but I would have been okay with it because I think the card's really good. And so what I wanted to talk about today is, why is the Platinum loved and this new Elite card is so critiqued? And is it fair? Is it a fair comparison between them? So as I look at this, let's talk about each one in some of these areas. Some of the things I've heard people talk about is, and I'm just making assumptions because they'll say, well, they came out with this card, they swung and they missed. It's no Platinum card. Platinum's still king of the hill. It's still best of the best. And you understand, I've had that card. I know it. And as a frequent traveler, I just don't see their point because, frankly, I think the Elite card is better than the Platinum card. I know that's a bold statement, but I think it's better. And I'll tell you why. The Platinum card is expensive. They're both expensive. It's a little bit more expensive, but okay, I'll pay whatever annual fee I have to have the card I need and I want. But what's really interesting is you have all those credits. And does it have more credits potentially than the new Elite card? Yeah, tons of credits. But they're way harder to use, and they take a lot more effort. And then you talk about lounge access. Well, both cards have lounge access. And then we talk about card multipliers, transfer partners, credits, all this stuff. When you wrap it together, help me see, why is the Platinum card so great? Now, I guess if somebody would say, well, they're both great cards and the Platinum card slightly edges it out, but that ain't what people are saying. They're acting like their credit card. Platinum card is awesome. But, this new Elite, it's a swing and a miss. And some of the logic, I just don't get it, even for people I greatly respect. So that's what I wanted to discuss. Let me go back to the comments real quick. YouTube experiment. Does Upside work with merchant apps like Taco Bell app? Yep, it has for me. Absolutely has for me. Because at Taco Bell, you go through and they say, would you like to use your online? And you just give them your number off the app. And so it's kind of a separate thing. So yes, it has worked every time for me to use those merchant apps as well. Abel Landa, like number 13, great content. Greetings from Miami. Well, Abel, great to have you here. Please, everybody hit the like and subscribe button. Appreciate that so much. Cesar, I like the Strata Elite and the Strata combination with a couple of Citi custom caches. Yeah, it's an amazing earning potential. I mean, it's amazing. Sultan says, frequent miler says they think Citi Prestige will get killed next year. Yeah, I heard him say that too. And I'm hoping they are wrong. They were making an assumption based upon what a rep said, but they were kind of wrong about American Airlines coming as a transfer partner right away. So I really respect those guys, but I'm hoping they're wrong about that because I want to keep my Prestige. So let's see. YouTube experiment says, Sultan, I wouldn't be surprised at all. They killed the Rewards Plus. So yeah, but they killed the Rewards Plus when the new one came out. They haven't done that with the Prestige. So maybe they'll just forget about us Prestige holders. That would be nice. Midlife says, saw some other vloggers talking about the Prestige will be forced to convert to Elite next year. Yeah, that's what we were just pointing out from Frequent Miler. Cesar, there are many creators I avoid watching when they talk about Citi. Yeah, it's like people have an unreasonable hate for Citi. I don't know why that is. YouTube experiment. Platinum has more lounge access and status with multiple ecosystems. So there's that. That's true. And I want to be fair. And no way am I trying to say the Platinum's not any good. I mean, I've used it before. I liked it. But to say that it's that much better, because they both have their strengths. They both just have their strengths. And that's what I'm going to get into. Cesar JC says, hey, Cesar. Cesar says, most don't have experience with the Citi ecosystem or just post to criticize without being objective. I think that does happen. JC says, ask the loudest Citi pundit to see what redemptions they made with thank you points. Crickets. Yeah, I've transferred over 100,000 miles already, 100,000 points to American Airlines. And I've already made 3 business class redemptions. So there's that now. I mean, I guess you could say that 3 weeks ago, but as of today, there's no question if it's got a good transfer partner. So yeah, thank you, JC. Appreciate it. Jake Baudet says, I just got the Strata Elite a few days ago. I don't understand the hate. The credits are way less effort than the CSR and the Platinum. Also, Platinum Lounge access isn't great for families. No guess. Yeah. So I'm going to get to some of that. So we're getting a little ahead of it, but I appreciate y'all thinking along the same lines. Sultan, Amex Platinum credits are easy to liquidate and net to zero and get you into Centurion lounges, which many are nice. They are. I like Centurion lounges. Dim says, I just don't see the case to get one when I have a Prestige. Platinum card holders as well. And JC, I'm going to talk about that in a second, why I did get it. JC, I'm running the Elite, Premier, and 4 custom caches now. We'll convert either one likely to Premier to a 5th custom cache if allowed next year. Great plan if they'll let you do it. And Law LC6 says, hello. Good to see you, Law, channel member. Great to have you here. Rex Blind, another channel member. I have AA executive cards, Citi CSP, and Citi DC. The latter would be a catch-all. Would like your thoughts on getting 1 mile and 1 LP using AA exec instead of the DC while chasing status. Yeah, I'm going to talk a little bit about status because I'm in the same place. I've got the Citi executive card also. And DEM, I think the Amex has better transfer partners. Citi really just has AA going for it right now. And this is coming from someone that has been using their cards for nearly 20 years. Yeah. Okay. And I think that's a fair argument. I really do. But to say, well, I think this one's a little bit better or this one's a little bit better makes sense. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is, why are people saying this new card is terrible and that the Platinum is just this awesome thing? Because they both have strengths and weaknesses. To me, it should be like, even if you lean on the side of the Platinum card, it still should be like this because of these reasons. So let's go through them. Lounge access. All right. DEM said, he's been using cards for 20 years. I'm in the same place with you. I've been playing this game for years and years and years. And I fly a lot. I mean, I fly for business. So I fly a lot. I fly to consult. I fly. And I can tell you this, I like lounge access. I've been in dozens of different Centurion lounges. I've been in Sky Clubs. I currently have Sky Club and Centurion access with my reserve card. I've been in United clubs tons of times. I've been in Admirals clubs. And here's the thing. They both give priority pass and they both give guests with priority pass. So that'd be a different discussion if we're talking about Venture X, because that's totally changed now. But they both give that. So with the American Express card, you get Centurion lounge access. With the Elite card, you get 4 passes to American clubs. Which one of those is better? I think there's no question that the Centurion card, the Centurion access is better. You also get Sky Clubs when you're flying 10 times a year when you're flying on Delta. So yeah, that's better. But what's interesting is nobody dogs on the other cards out there that give, like for instance, everybody was saying the US Bank card that we just talked about was great. And it gave 8 passes a year to priority pass. Yet nobody's like, this is a terrible card. No, they love that card. So it's just like, I don't get this. The Citi card gives 4 passes to American Admirals clubs, and it gives a good, not as good as it used to be with restaurant access like the Prestige, but it does give a good priority pass. So yes, Platinum has better lounge access, but not so much better that, well, this is a great card and that's just a junk garbage card. I just don't understand the hate. So I don't know. Somebody else might have a little different idea about it. Cesar says, saying Citi just has AA makes no sense. Okay. Choice is a strong hotel partner. Plus you have Good airline partners. Yeah, I mean, I've transferred a lot of points to Virgin. I've transferred a lot of points to Air France. I've used and they have Avianca. I've used that one too. I think they're pretty good. Only missing Air Canada. Yeah, I agree. That's the best one that they're missing. Sultan says 4 passes to 80 lounges, but must be flying One World. Yeah, which is the same basic restriction that you get with the 10 passes to Sky Clubs. You got to be flying on Delta with American Express. So that's interesting. DEM Air Canada just got me business class seats for $80K through Singapore. It's a powerful partner. It is. It is. In fact, I love Air Canada, but I think I could find less than 80K points through a partner with American Airlines miles. I mean, because I just booked with American Miles. I just booked from Europe back to the States for $57,000 and $12 in taxes and fees. I mean, I just did that last week. So, yeah, I mean, they both have good partners. That's my point. They're both pretty good cards. Why dog on the one and say it's just so much better? Cesar comments to DEM. Sultan, I don't hate Citi, by the way. Okay. JC, Citi has Turkish, great value before the deval, and EVA at a 1-to-1 like Capital One EVA 3-to-2. Yeah, it's true. Cesar Joel says, yep. Law LC, $2 super chat. Appreciate the deep insight. Oh, deep. I guess that's good. Thank you, Law. I appreciate it. $2 super chat. That helps the algorithm, helps me get more people. In fact, let's see how many we have in here as of this moment. 37. That's a pretty good number. 37. That's great. So please hit the like and subscribe button. Law, thank you for being a channel member, and thank you for that super chat. DEM, I don't have Citi either. I'm actually a Citi Gold client and work at Citi I don't hate Citi either, DEM says, for 12 years. Cool. YouTube experiment, Citi has AA, Chase has Hyatt, Amex has the most lounge access, huge sign-up bonuses. Now, that is something Amex does have. That's absolutely true. That's why I'm always going to keep churning through them, because that's excellent. The sign-up bonuses. A lot of transfer partners and status. Capital One is easy to recoup at a lower annual fee. Wells, no annual fee. No ecosystem is the best. That's a really good point. Thank you, YouTube experiment. JC, Amex has awesome transfer partners, no doubt. But I no longer need the platinum, especially at $895, $995 price point. If that's what's coming, it's going to be, and it probably is. It probably is. All right. So the next thing on this list was customer service. This is one I hear a lot about. Well, Citi has terrible customer service. That's what they say. And I hope that's not offensive to, was it DEM that worked at Citi? Okay. Because I'm telling you, I have not had that experience. I have the Citi Prestige card. It has a dedicated number on the back for Citi Prestige card holders. And when I call that number, they pick up right away and they help me. And they have every single time. In fact, I've gotten exceptional customer service with Citi. I don't know that that'll be true with the Strata Elite, but I'm guessing it can be. So, I mean, maybe that's American Express's customer service, although good, is not what it used to be either, in my experience. So I don't know that that's an argument to be made, because I think people who are saying Citi has bad customer service maybe have just one of their no annual fee cards. Now, I'm not saying they should give bad customer service to somebody with a lower level card, but I don't know that it's exactly the same thing as if you have a Prestige or you have a Strata Elite. I have found their customer service to be just fine. That's just my experience. But yet I hear this all the time, people saying, well, they have bad customer service. And I'm not sure it's always from people who've actually experienced bad customer service. I think sometimes we just parrot what we've heard. You know what I mean? So customer service. Let's go back to the comments real quick. JC says Amex has awesome transfer partners, no doubt, but I no longer need the platinum, especially we already talked about that comment. Kevin P. I'm stunned. $20 super chat. He says, glad to see another Citi believer. Been feeling like the only one that thought they have the best earning cards. I got 6 Citi cards, executive, custom cash, DC, R plus, now Strata, and Premier and Elite soon to be 7 when Barclays rolls out. Well, let me tell you, buddy, thank you first of all for that. That is awesome. That support humbles me. But we are in the same boat. I got the executive, I got the prestige. My player 2 just got the elite this week. We've got 2 custom caches. We had a rewards plus, so now that's a Strata. And now we also have the Premier. And I don't think we're getting rid of any of them because I've got a system going where we're going to earn so many American Airlines points, we could fly around the world many times. I mean, it's just because you can earn so many points. If you have reasonably high spend, it is crazy good high spend. Thank you, Kevin. That is so awesome. Thank you so much. Cesar, Amex is number 1 because we can get lots of offers, but I got Citi as my secondary ecosystem. Chase is in 3rd place, but I also get great value and offers with them. Yeah, I think that's a good way to measure it. YouTube experiment, I think Citi CS fell off during the pandemic and hasn't recovered since. Maybe just my experience, though. Talking about their customer service, maybe so. But like I said, I've had pretty good experience. So I think mileage may vary type thing. So the third thing that I hear sometimes is card multipliers. In fact, the frequent miler guys, and I really respect them. They are the goats in this game. I mean, in my opinion, listen to everything they do. But they were talking about, well, it had multipliers. And I'm thinking, yeah, I guess, I mean, I think my Prestige has a lot better multipliers because you get 3X on hotels and all that. And sure enough, this card pretty much is just portal, dining, and everything else. But I'm thinking, how could anybody say they don't like the Citi Elite card because it has poor multipliers and like the American Express Platinum card that has the worst multipliers? I mean, ever. Yes, you get 5X on flights directly. That's a good multiplier. What else? Crickets. Silence. You know, because that's all it's got. You could buy some things through the portal, but I mean, we're always dismissing that. 5X on flights directly, and then 1X on everything else. Well, let's compare that to the Strata Elite. You get 12X in the portal on some things. You get 6X on the portal on flights. Okay, let's discount the portal thing. I don't like portals either, although I am going to use the 12X on. I book enough hotels for myself and for others and for work and all that. I'm gonna slam that. But okay, if you don't like to use portals, I get it. But it has 3X on dining, and then at the time of the week, and everybody thinks that's crazy, you know, the Friday night, Saturday night thing. But that is when people eat out the most, and that's usually when you go out for a nice dinner and you spend the most. They're given 6X. And I'm telling you, I'm excited about that because Friday at 7:28 in New York time, I got on my United Mileage Plus X app. If you watch my channel, you know I love the Mileage Plus X app, even though I don't love United and I don't love their points. I love free points. So I got on there and I bought a gift certificate at one of the Texas Roadhouse or something. And I'm waiting because it hasn't posted. It's still pending. But I looked today and still pending. It says restaurant purchase. So I'm thinking that's going to post and I'm going to get 6X. I'm going to just slam those digital gift cards on Friday and Saturday nights, get 6X with Citi. And I think that purchase gave me 4X on United. So that's 10X on dining. Easy. I mean, I think that's a good multiplier. Yeah, it's a little bit of work, but you can't complain about it being a little bit of work when you love American Express and you got to do an Uber credit and you got to figure out how to use your Saks credit and you got to on and on and on and on. So yeah, I think the multipliers, and then, okay, end of discussion, 1.5X on everything. Now, even the frequent miler guys were like, well, why would anybody want that? You get 2X on the Citi Double Cash. That's true. But we're not talking about the Citi Double Cash. We're talking about a premium travel card that gives more than 1X on every purchase. American Express doesn't do that. Chase doesn't do that. Capital One does, but they don't have any other multipliers that aren't in their portal. So we're talking about a dining card, a good dining card that gives 1.5x with valuable points on everything you buy. And so we're not comparing it to the fact that, and what I think is crazy is people absolutely who love Chase will dog on this card. Well, it's 1.5x. It's like, it would be like comparing, okay, I could buy a Nissan or I could buy a Toyota, but that Toyota is not any good because there's another Toyota that gets a little better gas mileage. I mean, that's weird. I mean, we're talking apples to apples, premium card to premium card. It has better multipliers. It just has better multipliers. Let's go back to the comments. Okay. YouTube experiment. Most of the elite travel cards have poor multipliers. Better to look at each ecosystem as a whole. Citi has the best multipliers if you're able to hack the system and have multiple custom caches, no doubt. And I'm not saying that you should just be excited about 1.5x on this Strata Elite. What I'm saying is, though, why would you say it's not a good card and still love a card that's way worse on multipliers? That's my only point. And then E&M, the 6x with Citi has to be broken within 9 to 12 months. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how long this thing lasts. But man, I'm gonna slam it while I can. So I sure am. We got 44 people in here. Thank y'all so much for your support. I appreciate it very, very much. Jake Baudet says, I bought some gift cards at Target on DoorDash on Friday, waiting to see if I get 6x. Yeah, that's me. I'm waiting for it to finally post, but I think I'm gonna, because I looked at the merchant code and it says for sure restaurant and dining. So we'll see. Kevin P, I will admit, I'm still having one issue with their customer service. Still waiting for them to issue my $120 car rental reimbursement benefit on my executive on a rental I did back in May. Okay, I just recently used you're talking about the Avis one, right? I did that. Mine went through pretty easy, so I haven't had a issue with it, but I hope yours works out. All right, so the next one on this list was credits. People are saying, well, the credits aren't any good. And I will admit, you can get more potential credits on the American Express Platinum card. I mean, there's a lot of them. What's $1,700 possibly? But some of them, that includes Equinox. That includes Saks, which is, I mean, you can get value from it, but it takes a lot of effort, and it's probably not something you were going to buy anyway. And then you got to do some monthly stuff, right? The Uber stuff is monthly, and that's great if you use Uber all the time, but if you don't, it takes some work. And I'm not even saying those are bad credits. I think they're good. The digital entertainment, that's good. FHR, really good. That's not my point. My point is, though, Citi's got a different setup with this Elite card. It is not intended to be a card that gives you back way more with a whole lot of effort. It's intended to be a card that gives you back credits that almost make up for your entire annual fee with very low effort. That's what this card does. That's what my Prestige did. It was low effort. That's what the Capital One card does, the Venture X. It's low effort to get back your money. And with Citi, I'm telling you, those two credits, $300 in the travel portal on any hotel. I mean, it doesn't restrict it like the Edit collection. Any hotel, 2 nights, big deal. I mean, most of the time you're going to stay 2 nights, $300. I mean, it would be a problem if you had to buy an expensive hotel, but from what I understand, you don't. So it's $300, easy to get back. And then $200 for Ticketmaster or American Airlines or Best Buy. I mean, how easy is that? So I would say that, yes, the American Express, it has more potential credits, but a lot more work. Citi, the Elite card, has less potential credits, but really easy to get. It's just like 2 different approaches, but both pretty good. Both pretty good. So I'm going to get to the last one here. I think maybe part of it is referrals. I mean, I don't want to be cynical, but American Express is great on referrals. Citi is almost non-existent on referrals. In other words, I can't give y'all a referral code for the Elite card down in the comment section of this live because I don't have one. I mean, Citi's just stingy about that. And so, if a person's trying to get a lot of referrals to get a lot of points or to make some money or whatever, Citi's just not going to be high on their list, not going to be high on their list. So maybe that has something to do with it. I don't know. But I don't know. I don't necessarily, I'm not saying, I think my Prestige card's a better card. I'm not saying the Elite card's the best card that's ever came along. I'm just saying I don't understand the hate. And I don't understand the evaluation that says it's just so much worse when it has some things that are worse, but it has some things that are better. I just don't get the fanboy mindset of just all in on one thing. Man, I am a free agent. If tomorrow American Express gave me more value, I'd switch. I mean, that'd be my main ecosystem. And I have switched ecosystems. I've emphasized one over the other, right? But I just don't get the fanboy mindset. Chase, man, they've had a lot of that. There are people who will live and die on Chase, and they'll criticize this card for having 1.5 when the best catch-all you can get with Chase is 1.5 on the Freedom Unlimited. So I don't know. Let's see if we have any more comments over here. Well, we have 50 people watching. That's awesome. Appreciate every single one of you. Kevin P says, I will admit I'm still having one issue with their customer service. We already talked about that one. YouTube experiment. Go to your favorite restaurant and see if you can buy a gift card on Citi nights. I'm going to, and I'm almost certain I can. I'm almost certain that'll work. I do that kind of shenanigans all the time. So we'll see. So I'll definitely have something to report on that. Midlife says, someone who lives in a small town has a hard time using all those coupons to offset the annual fee of other cards. Applying for the Strata Elite tomorrow. Yeah, I'm the same thing. I don't live in a big city. So for me, this card's easy to get my value back from because I'm definitely going to use it for American, and I'm definitely going to stay in a hotel. Easy. And then I'm going to get a lot of points along the way. So I agree completely, 100%. Law LC, it's been easy for me to keep up with the rewards. It has to be easy for me to keep up with the rewards. Yeah, thank you, Law. That's for a lot of folks. It's just simpler is better. And American Express Platinum, there's a lot of breakage built in. It's not intended to be simple. Now it can be great, and you can get great value, but it's not simple. That's for sure. Jake Baudet, a duo of the Strata Elite and Strata Premier is still $100 cheaper than the CSR and way more powerful, in my opinion. Yeah, I mean that's a good setup. It's a good setup. Babatai says, I'm really considering Citi Strata Elite, Best Buy, AA, love them. Executive Platinum could come later, maybe. One more night to sleep on this. Yeah. I mean, I love my Executive Platinum card with American Airlines because that card helps me get status and keep status. And in addition to that, I just need more than 4 lounge passes for myself. We got the Elite for my player too, because most of the time she's flying with me and I can guest her in. But every now and again, she's flying on her own and she needs her own pass. So that's why I thought that 4 passes is perfect for that situation. So now we have the Prestige. So other times, except for Friday and Saturday night, we're going to get 5X on dining. Friday and Saturday night, we're going to get 6X on dining. And then, man, if I need to book hotels through the portal, I'm going to slam that 12X. That is awesome. That is awesome. Okay, so Joe F. says, look forward to your thoughts on airline status, ease of qualifying for Platinum, and benefits with Delta versus United versus American, Alaska. I'm Platinum with Delta and United Airlines. Will end this year, gold for both, considering AA. Well, I have been Platinum and gold with United for like over a decade before I switched. I am currently Delta Platinum and Platinum Pro with American. So I feel that I've got some experience with it. And I will tell you, quality-wise, there is somewhat of a difference. But also when it comes to upgrades and things, there's not a lot of difference, but maybe some. And so hopefully we can get into that discussion as we move on in this. Babatai is really considering Elite, Citi, Card, Best Buy. Love them. We just said that. YouTube experiment. Don't forget to hit the like button for everybody. Yeah, please hit the like and subscribe. Let me see how many we got in here. We got 51 in here. That's a great number. Appreciate it. Joe F. TPA, $5 super chat. Yes, thank you so much. Man, I'm always humbled by that people would show support in that way. It really means a lot to me. I appreciate it. Thank you, Joe, and everybody else who supported me. E&M, Chase City, American Express, they're all the same. All you can do is what fits your needs. Yeah, you got to evaluate your own life. But that's why I said I think that the Platinum Card's a good card for some people. I mean, I don't understand why we have to say that, this one's great and this one's terrible. No. There are some cards that are terrible, like that JetBlue card they came out with that was supposed to be their top level. That one was terrible for everybody. But for the most part, things like this, they just work for different people with different lifestyles. So that's true. Babatai, I have a Grubhub Plus membership too. Okay. YouTube experiment. The Black Lane credit is probably the hardest to get value back from. Yeah, I'm looking at that as a cool experience credit. So it's going to still cost me the same as an Uber would have, but it's going to be a cool experience with the placard and telling your name and all that. So that'll be cool. That's how I'm looking at that. You notice I didn't include it in the credits when I was talking about them before. E&M, 62,000 more spend until Diamond for me. Such a pain. Yeah, such a pain. I mean, in fact, we can just go ahead and get to that now. Okay, so status. Delta versus American. Now, I did not include in this United. And the reason I didn't is because we're talking about through credit card spending. With United, you just can't do it. I mean, they put limits on their cards. United's a different animal. They want you to have your backside in the plane seat. I mean, they want you to do that. That's what they want. And so they require so many segments. And I used to have to mess with all that. So that's United. They have a different philosophy of it. So your cards with United can help you towards status, but you can't just get there. Okay. It can't be a primary part of your strategy. So what I'm looking at is Delta and American. And I have the same second from the top public status with both of them, Platinum and Platinum Pro. And so this is what we see. So with the Delta Platinum and the Delta Reserve cards, both of them can help you get to status. So this is the breakdown, financial breakdown I did on this. With the Delta Platinum, you get 2,500 MQD boost every year, and you get the same thing with the Reserve. So you get that head start. That's halfway to silver status just for having the card. And if you have 2 of these cards, you get all the way to silver status. So if you have 4, you'd get all the way to gold. So that's helpful. You get with the Delta Platinum 20 medallion qualifying dollars per dollar spent. So every time you spend $1 on the card, you get $20. You get 1 medallion qualifying dollar. So that's kind of how that works. So it's 20 to 1. With the Reserve, it's 10 to 1. So it's twice as good. So I would always say anybody who's trying to either get their status over the hump or achieve status with a Delta card, they need to have a Reserve card because it's just 2 times as good. And I think the Reserve card's just as good of a card. The Platinum card's a great card, but the Reserve card's just as good. So $10,000 in spending would give you, 3,000 MQDs. And then $30,000 in spending, this is with the Delta Platinum, would give you 4,000 MQDs. So it'd take you $50,000 in spending would get you to that 5,000 mark. Now, remember, you have the 2,500 boost, so that helps along the way too, but that's where you'd have to be to get to silver. And so then you move up to 75,000, you're still at silver. And when finally you spend 100 grand on the card, you're at gold. Now, the difference is when you look over at the Reserve, you're hitting silver earlier. You're hitting silver at the $30,000 mark, of spending on your card, and you're hitting gold at the $75,000 mark. So that's a lot of spend on a card. Now, the problem I would have with this is I like flying Delta. I do fly Delta some, but Delta miles just aren't worth very much, and their cards don't earn that well. The Delta Reserve gives 3x on Delta flights and 1x on everything else. I am not putting $75,000 on a Delta card. No way. To earn 75,000 Delta points that might get me a round trip domestic trip, maybe if I'm lucky. I just don't see the value in that, but it can be done to get you that status. The next one that I have is American. So American, and I have this broken up just into two different cards, the executive card and every other card on their lineup, because even their no annual fee card helps you get the status with American Airlines. So their statuses are 40,000 is gold, 75,000 LPs is platinum, 125,000 is platinum pro. So how this breaks down is you get 1 LP per dollar spent. And that's with either card, the executive or any of the other cards in their lineup. But with the executive card, you get 2 10,000 point boosts when you hit 50,000 or 90,000 points. And that's not spending on the card. That's however you get the loyalty points, flying, portals, anyway. You get those boosts. So how it breaks down is this, is if you spend, let's see, if you spend $50,000 on a regular AA card and don't do any flying besides that or any shopping or anything, you'll get to 50,000 LPs, which is gold. That's their entry level. Remember, gold is the second level with Delta, but with American, that's the first level. And then, but if you were using the executive card because of the boost, you would spend also 50,000, but you'd have 60,000 LPs. You'd also be gold. And then as you move up the chain at 75,000 points, you would be platinum with either one of them. And it won't make that much difference until you get way up into in excess of 100,000 points. And so I do think American is a little easier, mainly because you can get some help with your status with a cheaper card. But what in essence this all breaks down to me is that trying to get airline status with your credit card, if you're not flying very much, is a bad idea, because you're going to be spending lots of money. You're not going to be earning the best rates. You're not going to be earning that many points back. And in Delta's case, you aren't going to be earning valuable points back. Americans are much more valuable, but still. And it takes a lot of spend to get any status. And let me tell you, I've had all these statuses, and I am Platinum Pro and I'm Platinum. So that means I'm the second from the top. And you know how many, I told you how many times I fly a year, 15 to 20 at least. And in the last year, you know how many upgrades I've gotten between them both? 3. And that's second to the top public tier. 3 upgrades out of dozens and dozens and dozens of flights. I just don't get upgraded anymore. Something has changed in the airline. Now, when I used to be with United and I had platinum with them, say before the pandemic, I was upgraded probably 40% to 50% of the time. 3-4 years ago, I was upgraded, I don't know, 20%, 30% of the time. In the last year, the upgrades have dried up. And I think there's several reasons for that. First of all, we've got some flights coming up on American, and they're sending me stuff in the app. Would you like to upgrade to first class for $47, for $58, for $65? A lot of people are like, yeah, I'll pay $58 to sit in the front. There goes that award seat. There goes that upgrade. I also see a lot of pilots, because of their contracts now, a lot of pilots flying in the front. And there goes a seat that would have went to a status flyer. So I guess my point by all of this is that if you think your card will help you bump up over, then use your card. But I wouldn't try to just earn status with it, because I'm just not sure that the status is worth it. To me, with American, the sweet spot on status is at platinum, because that's where you can get the extra legroom, main cabin extra seats for free at booking. And that's really, at the end of the day, I'm starting to believe that's the only status I care about. is I'm going to try to keep American Platinum just so I can get those extra legroom seats, because I'm not getting the upgrades anyway. I'm not getting them anyway. And what would it matter if I went from boarding group 2 to boarding group 3? What would it matter? I'd be curious your thoughts, and then I'm going to wrap it up. We're about time. So E&M says 62K more spend until Diamond for me. He said, if your rewards plus rolled over to Strata, you'll still get that 10% bonus back to 100K up to July next year. Yep, and I intend to. Rex Blind, $1.99. I think he joined the membership. It said join the membership. So I'm not sure if that's I'm still new to this, so I'm not sure if that's a super chat or no, the membership's $2.99. So he said join the membership. So please do that. And thank you so much for that super chat, Rex. I appreciate that very much, and your support and being a channel member. TJ Rosenbaum, I thought it was for every $20 you spend, you get 1 MQD on the Delta Platinum. Is that not what I said? I think I did it backwards. Yeah, I did it backwards. So I guess I said that wrong, but yeah, that's what hopefully you knew what I meant. So you get the idea. DEM, can you transfer points in to get the boost with AA? No, you have to spend on the card. Like for instance, with my AA executive card, I get 10X through the AA portal for hotels. And I do that a lot. But all I get is 1X on LPs, even though I'm getting 10X miles for it. So that's how that works. Mike Newland, Citi with their change in the ecosystem this past week has easily moved into the top 3 earning for a lot of people. Yeah, I think it just is. I think it's easiest of all of them. For me, it's the easiest to get value from. All right. Well, that's basically what I had for today. And we are at the 1 hour and 1 minute mark. So I try to respect your time and keep it to an hour. Thank you for everybody for being in here. I think the most we had was about 55 today, which is pretty awesome. And I'm just humbled by that. And then several super chats, some great support. And I thank y'all all for that very, very much. Let's see. Do I have any more comments over here? Midlife says, thank you. Well, you're most welcome. Thank y'all. It's just so amazing to me that people are so supportive. Like I say all the time, this is the greatest community of hobbyists in all the world, is in the Points and Miles community. So kind and so supportive, so helpful. I appreciate it. Mike says thanks. And Mike, all of us who do YouTube, we all thank you because you're always so supportive and so such a big fan of just the community. So we appreciate it. Joe F says, in his opinion, platinum status is the most valuable for domestic instant upgrades to extra legroom. Gold matters for international partner lounge and priority board. Yeah, priority boarding is a big deal in those partner lounges if you travel overseas. Green Knife says thank you. And with that, I say thank you to all of you. As Joe says, great discussion. I agree. Thank you all very, very much. Appreciate you. And hopefully I'll see you next Sunday afternoon. And have a great day.